Hi, it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. So I was talking about this new vision that we have that is the sealing of God's people. Okay, and in the Bible it talks about in Revelation 144,000 being sealed, and so we're going to use that number because whether that is an actual number or a symbolic number, it is representing those who have been united to Christ, who have taken in his fullness and now are operating as if it was he himself operating. That's he's creating your present moment. He's establishing your reality. It is this incredible union, but it feels like you. I mean, it's still you, but it's this union that you're very aware of, and this power and this light that's coming out, and this love that you've never experienced before coming out and flowing out from you. And those who have had this union, they are sealed. Okay, so, and this is why, because it talks about in Revelation that the four winds, okay, at the corners of the earth, the angels are holding those back, right, to make sure everybody's first sealed, that are supposed to be sealed. And the reason that it's so important that these are going to be sealed or need to be sealed is because these are the very ones that God is going to use to be the light sources in the earth that is going to help bring all of the earth into his kingdom as a part of his kingdom. These are the ones that are going to help all this earth to become God's reality. One harmonious reality, because God is creating all of it. Now, it'll be each different expressions through each one of us, okay? But what that also means is that his character is governing all. Everybody's life, everybody's present moment. Now, his character can be expressed in so many different beautiful ways. But that spirit will be the same, okay, among everyone. And that's what that sealing is that he is now creating those people's reality. He has now taken over their vision. Their vision is full of light. They have the eyes of understanding, his understanding, so that in each situation, what comes up, so you're sealed, you understand this, then the winds are released. And the winds come from when someone returns good for evil, that evil causes a whirlwind, right? But when you respond in good, it's like you take that evilness and you harness it and you actually use it for good. Okay? These four winds, that's where they come from. It is either is a combination, or maybe it's just Christ himself. When he gave his life for us, that was returning good for evil in the most magnificent, powerful way. Okay, that was a huge wind harness that God could use in his righteous standard to now use for good. Okay, and that's what these winds are doing. When they're released, they're actually going to be breathing life into this earth. But now some people who don't yet know, those winds are also what stir you up, what shake you up, what cause the whirlwind that gets you out of your sleep of death to start seeking and turning toward the light. Okay, but that's still being used for good. Once you have walked in with God, what you realize, you are very thankful when he has used situations in your life, usually tough, painful, hard situations, to show you the very pain that you were creating and that you were abiding in. You were abiding in darkness and it was causing a lot of pain and suffering, but you were so blind to it until he showed you exactly what you were doing. So that means you saw the pain, you felt the pain, you experienced it. Once you saw it, once you felt it, that's when you can turn from it. That's repentance. Okay, so these winds, that's their very purpose. Okay? They're twofold. For the ones that are sealed, it's actually expanding the kingdom. And I talked about that a little bit in another video where you, right, someone's doing something, meaning to harm you through God's wisdom, the eyes of understanding. You harness that wind that is sort of like that negative energy. You harness it and God uses it to propel you forward. He actually uses that to cause you to grow and to strengthen you and to increase your light. And for those people, so it's twofold, right? So it's going to be increasing the kingdom in that way. On the other hand, it's also going to be shaking up the people that think they're okay. They don't understand that they are descending into a bottomless pit. That is the direction their soul is going, and they don't know it. Those whirlwinds, those storms, it's going to create these waves in their lives, this turbulence, that's going to reveal to them the darkness that they are in. It is going to become like the outer darkness. Because when God's people, okay, so when they are receiving the perfect love, they are becoming the flames. When Christ is coming in his fullness, he is no longer here as the teacher. Okay, when his other part of his spirit comes, that love, it's now he's in his fullness. He's not in his fullness and in part. Okay, because his fullness is here. So those people that have his fullness and are able to obtain it, they are now the light. And they are now the ones that are going to be sharing and giving the light. They are going to be the living waters. They are going to be that fount. So it's no longer going to be this internal teacher role that was happening. And that means that even what they had will be taken away from them. That is the door being shut. You know, when the virgins came and said, Lord, Lord, open to us, and the door was shut. That's what it means, is that you can no longer embrace him as that eternal teacher because he's now fullness. And if you can't receive his fullness, you can't receive him. But, so the light, it's like it was this dim light over the earth. All right? But because it was only in part of his spirit. But now when he comes in the fullness, it becomes a very, very bright light. But now it's within those prepared. And it's within those 144,000. They are becoming his light. So now they are going to be giving the words of light. They're going to be pouring out the living light of God. It's also that fire. It's also the refining fire. They're also what is bringing in that refining fire. They're also what is bringing in the tribulation, because they are bringing forth the fullness of that light. Okay, so that is why the door is shut, because his spirit is now in its fullness. It's no longer in that teacher mode. There's a new way that you have to come to him, and that is going to be by his light sources, the 144,000. And okay, so it's a exchange between people learning from within versus people now having to gain understanding by someone on the outside. And what's interesting about this is that the ones that had people as their authority over their spirit lives are the ones that were never listened to the internal teacher. Okay, so they didn't have that intimate union. They're not going to have the same level of fullness in them. Okay, it's just a different process. Okay, but now is a time when actually those 144 will be the ones that people will want to go to for understanding in these times, because as the light, it's sort of like the light that was over everywhere. So it's like that truth that you could learn from the teacher. It had this covering of mercy that came along with it and grace. It's now being all like kind of sucked in into the 144, because that's where their fullness is. And as it's pulled into them, they can become these bright shining lights and these fountains of water and trust. They give it freely. Freely. They're not asking for anything from you because they have an abundance. So they just let it pour. And anybody who thirsts, come and drink. And you will be able to grow, because anywhere outside of their realities, because God is creating their realities. That's what they have in common. Those 144, God is creating all of their realities. So all of their realities, although they may not know each other yet, they may be spread across the world, they're all going to be harmonious and connected to each other. And as they expand, because God is ever expanding and increasing his influence through them, then it's just going to start filling and taking over the earth. And other people will grow and learn by their light. But these are sort of the founts of living water. They're gushing the living water over all of the earth. Okay, it's a flood of the water of life. Of God is coming to bring in the harmony and the peace. And that's what their life is going to be showing. Because remember, they know exactly how to harness those winds to expand the kingdom. So those winds serve the two purposes. So those winds are released because the lighting has happened. That perfect love has gone out. People are receiving that, and that is their fire. They are now lit. And it's just a fire because, again, it is a very intense time of learning and understanding. I mean, it's just, you're learning so much because it's all about, because that's to be a fount of living water, it comes with that understanding. It comes with all that preparation. That's why you are a fount, okay? And so it's a process. And so, but it will be growing and expanding. So their light, it starts small but just continues to expand and get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And another thing that you're going to be feeling and experiencing from these people is love, because that perfect love is in them, and that's what's going to be flooding out. They're going to have a heart for everyone. They're going to have a desire for everyone, because that is their very purpose, is to be the tool by which Christ is coming to rescue all those bound in darkness and in death. It's like they're the firstborn. They just were the firstborn, but now in their inheritance, they're giving it to everyone else, because that's what you do when you love. You don't want all the inheritance for yourself. You just want to give it, because there is an abundance. So the firstborn are giving their inheritance freely to all the others. And in time, all those, their realities, as they expand, they will start to intersect. But that's how God will start to fill and move in until he fills all in all, because he's creating their realities and everything that's happening. He's harnessing those winds for his good. And for those that are descending and they have no idea they're descending into the bottomless pit, because we've all been, that is where everybody has been. Just that most people are so blind they don't even realize that. Those winds are going to make them aware of their descent. They're going to show the darkness that always was there. It's going to reveal all the things of the heart. It's going to reveal really all the things that you're doing and what that's really manifesting and creating. Again, the purpose of the winds is, to those people, is to bring repentance. That's the whole purpose. But when they start seeking, and they start seeking that understanding and growing by that, then that descent into the pit, you actually start to ascend. And this is what is the great falling away. It is when the people, this is the awareness that some people have gained their wings, in a sense. They have gained the wisdom and the understanding and that spirit, and the very winds are causing them to ascend. They're increasing peace, increasing reality that God is creating for them, the increasing love, that is all increasing. They are starting to ascend. The others are starting to be aware of their descent. So you have this falling away. This is the separation that is happening. But as these people, through their whirlwinds, desire and come to repentance, then they can start their ascension as well. Okay? And this is God's mercy, is that though it seems like a bottomless pit, underneath it all, He has His hand, so that everyone will eventually hit the bottom, their personal bottom. It's just like some of us have gone there. It's like you hit the bottom in your life, and that's what causes you to start going in another direction. And when they do that, that will start their journey upward. But again, they're going to be going to the light that is coming from within the 144, because that light that was here by that part of God, Christ's Spirit, is no longer shining in the same way. It's shining from within those people that are sealed. Magnificent truths. Until next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.